With Arc Raiders' massive success came a huge player base from different gaming backgrounds. Some come from similar extraction PvP games, while others are having trouble adapting to the PvPvE aspect of the game. So in this video, I came up with the 5 best tips to quickly improve at Arc Raiders PvP. Hi, I'm Plasma, and I have multiple thousand hours in PvP games. I spent so much time in these games that I'm now able to identify the best ways to quickly improve in any game. What's up boys, it's Plasma from editing here. So as I was editing this video, I actually found out that Arc Raiders enables mouse smoothing by default, which could be a reason why your aim is inconsistent or doesn't feel as good as it should feel. So if you want to be as accurate as possible, I made a channel in my Discord server that goes over how to disable it, because it's a little bit trickier since you have to mess around with files. Alright, let's go back to the video. So starting off, the main thing that differentiates Arc Raiders from other survival extraction shooter type of games is its PvPvE aspect. It makes it so you have to think about PvP and PvE at the same time, which can be quite overwhelming while you're in a 1v1 with someone else. So my first tip is how you should manage PvP and PvE on the side. And the best way to do that is to know which arcs you should ignore, which arcs you should prioritize killing over someone else, and which arcs you should just run away from. Of course, you need to consider that every arc will be revealing your position if it detects you. However, if you don't mind about your position being revealed, here's which arcs you should not worry about while PvPing. So first off, we have the Arc Surveyor. The reason it's in this category is because it's extremely weak and it will not try to attack you. All it does is run away from you, just like a loot llama would in Fortnite. Then we have a tick. The ticks are quite annoying, but as long as you're moving around, it won't be able to pinpoint you and attach onto you. Finally, I added the Leaper in there. I know some of you guys might be confused, but in my opinion, the Leaper is the weakest of the bigger arcs. And as long as you're inside a building or running around, it shouldn't be able to attack you and do damage to you while you're PvPing, so you can literally just ignore them. Just try not to go too close. Then moving on to the priority category. First off, we have the Snitch. The reason the Snitch is in there is that if you don't kill it, it will call reinforcements, so you need to make sure to take care of them. Then we have the Wasps. So the Wasps are quite easy to deal with, but they're quite annoying if you don't deal with them. So make sure to just break their propellers so you can focus back on PvP as soon as you can. Then we have the Hornet for the same reason as the Wasp. They're more annoying to deal with, but as long as you break the back propellers, you should be okay. Then we have the Pop. Just try to break it before it gets near you. Same with the Fireball. You can shoot it in the back or when it opens up getting ready to shoot at you. The turret's a little bit of an exception because if you're not in its line of sight, you shouldn't even worry about it. But if you have to fight in its line of sight, then just shoot a couple bullets and it should explode. Moving on, we have the Spotters. The Spotters are usually going around the Bombardiers, so make sure to take care of them if you need to fight around the Bombardier. Otherwise, the Bombardier can pinpoint your position, and it's extremely annoying to get him to de-aggro off of you. And that's it for the ones you should take care of. And the last category is the arcs you should just run away from. So first off, we have the Shredder. The reason I added the Shredder in this category is because it's insanely annoying to kill, and if you're not able to kill it on time, it will explode into you and deal so much damage. So I recommend just repositioning, moving away from the Shredder and not taking PvP fights near a Shredder. Then we have the Bombardier. The Bombardier is way too big for you to take care of mid PvP. You should just make distance as much as possible, so that way it's not able to shoot at you. Same with the Bastion. The Bastion has a machine gun. It's extremely annoying to deal with if you're trying to PvP someone else. So I recommend just making distance and running away from it. And finally, we have the Rocketeer. The Rocketeer is probably the most annoying to deal with because it flies around and follows you wherever you might run to. And there's even a couple that spawn right next to extraction points. But what I recommend is to stay undercover and move around it to make sure it doesn't aggro onto you. My second tip is that you need to utilize third-person POV as much as you can. So the ability to swap from one shoulder to another gives you much more vision than in traditional third-person shooter type of games. You can peek either the left side or the right side while always having the peeker's advantage, since you're always able to peek for information without people knowing you're peeking. So here's how I recommend to use this tech, so you'll be able to get as much value as possible. So while fighting, you need to do 3 steps. First off, try to gain information by only peeking with your camera and making sure you stay out of the enemy's line of sight. Once you have information on the enemy's whereabouts, you can establish a game plan, either finding a better position to engage or engaging right away. If you choose to pick the fight right away, I recommend to wait until the enemy is an easy shot, and then right before peeking, you want to start scoping in. That way you don't have the scope in animation and you're able to start shooting at full accuracy right away. Alright, now we're at tip number 3. You need to communicate with your teammates. Arc Raiders is a game of knowledge, and the more knowledge you have, the higher the chance to win your fights. If you and both your teammates are playing smart and are able to gather important information before engaging, you already have 90% of the fight won alone. Then I recommend giving information to your teammates about the enemy's whereabouts, if they're far, if they're close, how many there are. Also let them know about the enemy's HP. Are they low? Are they full HP? Did they have time to heal? And finally, you should also tell them when you're engaging and when you're disengaging, so your teammates know when to be aggressive and when to be passive. If you're tired of playing with shitty teammates that don't give comms and trying to play with players that are actually trying to win and improve at the game, then you can join my Discord server, because I added an LFG channel where you can queue with me or my community, link in the description. So my tip number 4 is to play around your stamina. Once you get a few points in mobility, especially in Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs, you'll have a lot more freedom in how you want to move during the fights. And usually, a moving target is much harder to hit than a standing still target. You can use movement to engage fights or to disengage fights. A good thing to know is that sliding in this game does not use stamina, and it even regenerates some, while allowing you to be a moving target. And finally, my tip number 5 is to learn from your mistakes. What I mean by that is that a lot of inexperienced players will constantly be making crucial mistakes that lose them most of their fights. So in order to improve and not make these mistakes anymore, I want you guys to ask yourselves if you could have done something better, maybe something different. If some of your decisions were mistakes, and what you could have done instead in order to give you better odds to win the fight. The easiest way to do that is to reflect on these questions after every game, but if you really want to see a quick improvement, I strongly recommend to VOD review yourself, record yourself while you play, and if you lose a fight that you thought was winnable, go back over the footage, ask yourself if those decisions were really the best ones or if you could have done something better. VOD reviewing is the ultimate tip to improve quickly and see results as fast as possible. Now that was all for my PvP tips. I hope that at least one of them can help you improve. I appreciate you so much for watching till the end, you mean a lot to me, and I will be doing more educational videos on Arc Raiders. Alright, bye.